Are you always second-guessing yourself to keep the peace or win someone's approval? Do you tiptoe around others, hoping that the right words or actions will finally satisfy them, only to end up feeling let down and drained? There's a reason for this. You've been trying to control what isn't yours to manage. That's where the let them theory comes in, a liberating approach from Mel Robbins, best-selling author of the 5-Second Rule. Today, you'll learn how 2 simple words can reset your focus, transform your relationships, and bring your energy back where it belongs, to you. Let's get started. Have you ever found out people made plans without you and immediately started spiraling? Maybe you replayed your last interaction, scanned for what you did wrong, or convinced yourself they were mad. That instinct to fix, explain, or smooth things over doesn't just show up in friendships. It's how you respond to almost anything that feels uncertain or uncomfortable. You try to control it. Other people's choices, reactions, or opinions start to feel like emergencies you're responsible for. The let them theory breaks that cycle. When you say let them, you stop wasting your energy on things you can't control. Let them go on the trip. Let them ignore your message. Let them be who they are. You're not trying to suppress your emotions here. You're reclaiming your energy. The theory echoes deep traditions. Stoicism teaches that power lies in what you do, not what others do. Buddhism warns against resisting reality. And detachment theory shows how emotional distance can reduce stress and bring clarity. Let them helps you practice those ideas in real time without needing to master a philosophy textbook first. But detaching isn't the same as disappearing. If you only say let them, you might start withdrawing, assuming you're better off alone. That's why the second step matters. Let me. Let me take ownership of how I want to respond. Let me reflect, reach out, or shift my priorities. Let me puts you back in the driver's seat, not to control others, but to lead yourself with intention. A quick note before we go further. While the let them theory can be adapted for parenting, Mel Robbins, and consequently this blink, focuses on its use in adult relationships. She recommends a different approach when it comes to kids. Also, if applying the theory leaves you feeling isolated instead of grounded, you're doing it wrong. It's a sign to re-engage with the second step. Let them helps you let go, but it's let me that fuels transformation. Imagine you're in a slow-moving airport security line, and the guy behind you is coughing without covering his mouth. Or maybe your meeting starts in 20 minutes, and your blood pressure's already climbing. Life is full of tiny stressors like these that pile up until you're mentally fried, emotionally reactive, and physically exhausted. Your mood shifts. You're no longer focused on your day. You're stuck reacting to someone else's. That's how stress hijacks you. The smallest triggers can pull you into a state of irritation, anxiety, or helplessness. Let them breaks that chain. Let them cough. Let them speak too loudly. Let them send that email. Let them do whatever they're going to do. You don't have to like it. But when you stop trying to control what you can't, you stop letting it wreck your day. Science backs this up too. According to Harvard physician Dr. Aditi Nerurkar, chronic stress rewires your brain. When you're overwhelmed, the amygdala takes over, pushing you into fight or flight. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the part that helps you plan, focus, and respond thoughtfully, goes offline. The result, you feel stuck, reactive, and drained without knowing why. That's where let me comes in. Let me take a breath. Let me pause before I respond. Deep breathing activates the vagus nerve, sending a signal to your brain to stand down. You regain your clarity. You decide how to respond. This 2-step move works at any scale. Your boss keeps stringing you along? Let them. Let me focus on finding something better. Your coworker sends another passive-aggressive message? Let them. Let me choose not to bite. The problem is that you let other people's behavior run your nervous system. You'll never control what they do, but you can always decide how much access they have to your energy. Let them helps you stay grounded. Let me helps you take control. What would you do if you weren't afraid of being judged? Would you share your artwork? Apply for that role? Speak up in the meeting? Many of us live as if other people's opinions are traffic signals. Green means go, red means stop. The result? We build lives around imagined approval, not authentic desires. Or as Robbins puts it, echoing poet Mary Oliver, let me do what I want to do with my one wild and precious life. The let them theory offers you a radical reset. Let them think you're too much. Let them roll their eyes. Let them believe you're doing it all wrong. Other people will always have thoughts about you, and not all of them will be kind. There's nothing you can do about that. You're not supposed to. You can't eliminate judgment, but you can remove its power over you. Early in Robbins' speaking career, she followed the formula for success: build a site, get testimonials, and so on, but stalled for years at the final step, posting about herself online. Why? Fear of what friends might think. That fear, though unspoken, was stronger than her ambition. And she's not alone. From procrastination to perfectionism, much of our self-doubt stems from a desire to avoid criticism. Even the people who love you think negative thoughts about you, daily. Your partner, your kids, your best friends, they all judge you sometimes, and they still love you. Judgment and love can coexist. Criticism doesn't cancel connection. The let me part of the theory is where your power lies. Let me share my work. Let me choose what matters. Let me show up in a way that makes me proud. When you act in line with your values, your self-respect strengthens and their opinions fade. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means redirecting your energy toward what you can control. The moment you stop managing other people's perceptions is the moment you start owning your life. Whether it's posting that photo, making a bold choice, or saying what you really think, the question shifts from will they approve to will I be proud of this? That's the shift the let them theory enables. Less fear, more freedom. Have you ever faced the silent treatment and wondered what you did wrong? Or felt yourself caving to a guilt trip just to keep the peace? Maybe someone blew up at you, and you spent hours replaying it in your head, trying to make sense of it. Moments like these are more common than you think, and more draining than they should be. Many grown-ups have never learned to handle difficult emotions, so they sulk, rage, ghost, or lash out, not because you failed them, but because they never learned how to process discomfort. And you've probably made it your job to manage their emotions, walking on eggshells, avoiding conflict, and saying yes when you mean no. Let them interrupts this cycle. Let them pout. Let them send dramatic texts. Let them pretend nothing happened. It might seem like you're being cold, but you're not. What you're really doing is stepping out of a pattern where their emotional immaturity dictates your decisions. And when you visualize a triggered adult as a child who never got the tools to cope, you stop feeling intimidated and start feeling compassion. Then naturally comes let me. Let me decide if I want to engage or not. Let me step back instead of spiraling. Let me stop wasting energy on reactions I didn't cause. But what if the tantrum's your own? You stew, you snap, you avoid. You want to hit send on that impulsive reply. Instead of numbing or reacting, let the emotions rise. Don't shove them down or run away, then let them fall. Most feelings fade in 90 seconds if you don't feed them. The right decision, ending a relationship, saying no, disappointing someone, can feel deeply wrong in the moment. You feel guilty. They're upset. Let them feel it. Let me ride that wave and stay grounded in what I know is right. Let them helps you stay grounded. Let me puts your energy back where it belongs. Have you ever looked at someone else's life and felt instantly behind? Their job title, house, appearance, or even metabolism can make your own life feel small by comparison. But let's be honest, life was never fair to begin with, and comparing only makes it feel worse. The more you focus on what others have, the more disconnected you feel from what's actually possible for you. Robbins' daughter and co-author Sawyer felt this way for years. Caught in a painful comparison with her younger sister Kendall, who had a naturally slimmer body, faster metabolism, and perfect pitch, Sawyer tortured herself over traits she couldn't change. Instead of appreciating her own talents, she became consumed by the belief that she was losing a game she could never win. Comparison can become a form of self-torture when it's aimed at things you can't change: genetics, upbringing, privilege, or someone else's timing. You scroll, spiral, and stall out, convinced you're losing a game you were never equipped to win. But you're not losing, you're just distracted. Let them have their luck. Let them get the promotion, the vacation, the followers. That's their life, not yours. Instead, let me focus on mine. Let me pay attention to what's making me jealous, because sometimes that jealousy is trying to teach me something. When comparison stings, it often reveals a dream you've buried or a goal you've delayed. Let me use that as fuel. Let me learn from what others are doing and apply it to my own life. Comparison can also become your teacher when it reveals what you want. If jealousy flares, pay attention. That's your future self sending you a signal. Just ask the interior designer who saw a neighbor's glossy website and realized it was time to stop watching and start building her own. Other people's progress can offer more than envy. It can show you exactly what's possible. Their success doesn't exclude yours. It simply suggests what's possible when you commit. Let them have their moment. Let me put my energy where it counts. And now, with comparison off your back, you're ready for something deeper. Managing the complex world of adult relationships, the friends, partners, and family members who shape your everyday life. That's what's up next. Why does friendship feel so difficult once you're grown up? For many, the shift is quiet but jarring. People move, priorities shift, and the group chats go silent. This phase, what Robbins calls the Great Scattering, marks the moment when friendship changes from something structured and automatic to something personal and intentional. Most adult friendships drift not because of betrayal or neglect, but because one of three essential ingredients falls away: proximity or energy. You're no longer in constant contact like you were in school or early adulthood. Life chapters diverge: marriage, parenting, moving cities. As a result, shared rhythms disappear. And even when you're physically close, if the connection doesn't feel right anymore, it may be time to move on. Understanding these three pillars makes it easier to see that distance doesn't always mean rejection. That's where the let them mindset becomes powerful. Let them move, let them not respond, let them prioritize other people. Friendships fade for all kinds of reasons. Holding only makes the loss sharper. But then, of course, we need to consider let me. Let me say hello first. Let me be open. Let me join the class, send the text, or knock on the door. Adult friendship isn't something that just happens. It's something you create. Start small. Say the name of the barista you see every day. Compliment someone's socks. Join the community hike. These micro connections are how real relationships begin. Give it a year. It takes time to accumulate trust, familiarity, and shared moments, but it will come. And if you really want to accelerate this, don't just join things, start them. Organize a book club, a walking loop, or a game night. Building a local community around your interests is often the fastest way to find your people. Adult friendship requires flexibility, effort, and maturity. It can also deliver some of the richest relationships of your life, many of which you haven't discovered yet. Let them drift. Let me begin. Have you ever worried about someone's health? Maybe it's your partner, a sibling, or a close friend. You've begged them to start exercising, cooked healthy meals, even bought them a gym membership or fitness equipment, but nothing seems to stick. And the more you try, the more they dig in. You're frustrated, exhausted, and secretly scared. You just want them to care as much as you do. When you want someone to change, it's often because you love them. But intention doesn't override human nature. Adults don't change because you want them to. They change when and only when they feel like it. And the harder you push, the more you trigger resistance. So what can you do? Start with yourself. Before trying to influence anyone, use the 5 whys method. Ask, why does this behavior frustrate me? Then ask why again and again. By the 5th why, you'll usually discover the real issue. Often a fear of loss, a sense of helplessness, or shame. Maybe their behavior reflects something you're trying to avoid in yourself. The clarity is sobering, but essential. Only from this grounded place can you then use Robbins' ABC loop, a science-backed framework for influencing change without pressure. First, apologize for trying to control them, and ask open-ended questions that invite reflection, like, how do you feel about your health right now? Then, back off and observe. Stop trying to fix them. Instead, focus on yourself. Show, not tell, what positive change looks like. Finally, celebrate any small progress with genuine warmth. Positive reinforcement, not pressure, is what creates momentum. Let them stay inactive. Let them skip the gym. Let me show what's possible. Let me walk the walk. Let me trust that my influence matters more than my judgment. Change doesn't happen when you pressure someone into it. It begins when you stop trying to control and start leading by quiet example. Have you ever poured yourself into helping someone only to realize they're not ready to help themselves? You offer support, advice, even money, but nothing changes. They avoid hard conversations. They resist therapy. They make the same painful choices again and again. And slowly, you begin to lose yourself trying to save them. It's one of the hardest truths about healing. People don't get better because you want them to. Change begins only when they decide to, and some people never reach that point. Let them ignore your advice. Let them resist help. Let them make their own mistakes. Stop pretending you can fix this for them. There's a difference between loving someone and rescuing them. When you keep shielding them from the natural consequences of their actions, you're not actually helping. You're enabling. And enabling can prolong pain, both theirs and yours. Instead of pouring energy into lifelines they won't grab, protect your boundaries. If you're financially supporting someone, clarify your terms. Help can have conditions. You can live here if you're sober. I'll pay for school if you attend. But if those conditions aren't met, stop funding their behavior. Yes, they may lash out. Yes, it will hurt. But your boundary might be the wake-up call they need. Instead of trying to rescue, create an environment for change. Clean the apartment. Drop off groceries. Sit beside them without demanding answers. Give support without requiring them to explain what would help. They're often unable to articulate it. Let me stop fixing. Let me believe in their strength. There's quiet power in standing beside them instead of pulling them forward. When you act like someone can face what they're avoiding, they start to believe it too. And that belief is the bridge to healing. Next, we'll look at how to choose the love you truly deserve and stop settling for less. You want love, real love. But somewhere between swiping right and trying not to get hurt, dating can start to feel like a maze without an exit. You wonder if you're too much or not enough. You fall for potential, ignore red flags, and stay in relationships that don't move forward, hoping that someday they will. But love isn't found by chasing it, it's chosen. Stop trying to win over people who can't meet you where you are. If they ghost, won't commit, or keep you at arm's length, let them. Let them show you who they are. Let them walk. Let them not like you. When someone pulls away, don't take it as rejection. Take it as a compass reset. If you keep ending up with the emotionally unavailable, look closer. Are you drawn to the chase? Do you fall for people you want to fix or prove yourself to? If so, the pattern won't change until you do. Be honest. Be single. Let me stop chasing potential and start living in reality. And when things seem promising, don't be afraid to have the commitment conversation. Frame it with clarity. This has been amazing. I'm looking for something long-term, and I value my time. If we're not on the same page, that's okay, but I need to know. No guilt, no games, just truth. And if they say no, let them. Walk away with your self-respect intact. In longer relationships, use what you've already learned, like the ABC loop. Apologize, ask, back off, celebrate progress. But if nothing changes, it's time for D&E. Decide if it's a deal breaker. End the complaining or end the relationship. You can't keep resenting someone for being who they are. Compatibility is about shared dreams and mutual willingness to grow rather than chemistry. If you want kids and they don't, or you're rooted and they want to move across the world, those aren't just quirks, they're fault lines. And if it ends, the pain will feel unbearable. But remember, it won't last forever. Let me cry, let me heal, let me reclaim my life. You're not missing a piece. You are the love of your life. And when you live like that, the right kind of love will find you.